or good afternoon, and welcome. My name is Kimbrey, and if I just went live now, good morning and welcome. My name is Kimbrey. I'm so thrilled to be here. Gina and I met in MOPS. Gina is freaking awesome. Her dad was my dentist growing up as well, and and she's just wonderful, and I love what she does with Zaya. I think that Zaya clothes are awesome, and I love the body positivity aspect, and that's a huge part of what I do as a fitness coach and as a proponent is advocating for loving your body no matter what it looks like, because our bodies serve us in so many amazing ways, and it also feels really good to be strong. It feels really good to be able to use our core. And I guess as moms, oh, hi Gina, I just got your comment. If you're here with me, comment, definitely tell me that you're here. I'd love to say hello, and I'd love to get specific questions if you have something specific that you're dealing with. So I think as moms, we know oh, and hi Erica, welcome. As moms, we know exactly what it feels like to share our body with someone else, unless we adopted, and in that case we don't have this abdominal separation. It's just a different mom story beginning. But for those of us who did carry children, hi Carrie, woo! Welcome. But we know what that feels like to, like, be walking around with our belly hanging out and our butt back here and like waddling and having this enormous weight in the front of our belly dictating the way our posture is, and it really ends up lending to kind of these crazy postural shifts that can happen. But it's nothing that it's all natural and normal and healthy, right? Like we've born children for a really long time. Our bodies are built for it. And there's just some conscious reconnecting that we can do after having a child, probably after each child, if you have multiple children, to help reestablish this connection in the abdominals. Now, this becomes even a little bit more challenging when there's a C-section. So anybody have C-sections? And when you have that actual like slicing of the muscle happen, it affects that nervous system connection, brain to lower abdominals, even more deeply. So if you did have a vaginal birth, then what we're dealing with is more of just the separation, this ballooning that happens, and then restitching everything back together. So I'm not seeing any cesarean moms, so we're just gonna focus more on restitching these abs together. So first off, before we even start, do you have any questions? If you're here with me live, is there anything that you're wondering or that you want me to know about your body or your kids or your birth that I might be able to help you with as far as healing the body postpartum? And while I wait for questions, we're going to start to move. Reach your arm overhead, take a big breath in. If you're sitting down, stand up. Let's do a little bit of breathing, ladies. We're gonna reach overhead, step out, fill up your lungs with breath. Reach overhead, step out. Reach overhead, step out, and we'll reach the arms up and come back. And I also do believe that Gina's offered a gift card for commenting, so definitely get your comments in. You want to get entered into that drawing. Okay, so we do have a C-section. Yeah, so I wonder if I wonder if you feel that deep connection, or if you feel like that connection's been severed a little bit. Let's take it out and across. Oh, something else that happens with motherhood is our shoulders get so tight because of this forward posture. We're like carrying kids. We're like doing all this stuff. So doing some of these arm hugs can just feel really, really nice. Oh, keep breathing. I'm going to check in on comments. Yeah, and Gina, hard time with pelvic floor, being weak after giving birth. 3 C-sections. So yeah, you lady, you're all here for a reason. And yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, Let's keep it going with some narrow squats, just as easy and best as you can. Like, our bodies are made to go through this. Women are fucking resilient. Like, we are amazing. And our bodies are truly amazing. And let's do some inside kicks. And all of this stuff that's happened in order to bring our children into this world, we can consciously come in and help correct for some of that. So that's what we're going to get really deep into here now that we've got our ladies. All right. Lovely. And Gina just confirmed that gift card, so rock on. So come on down to the floor. We're gonna lay down, and I understand if you like have a baby sleeping on you or something, I totally get it, but pay close attention. So this is where we're gonna start to get into some of the diastasis separation stuff. So if you're recent, is anybody like 10 months postpartum or under? Comment if you're like a 10 month, if you're really early postpartum. If you're not, if you're more like a year plus postpartum, we're going to start here. Take your fingers to your hip points. We have these bony hip points right and left. And I want you to close your eyes and imagine that you're trying to pull your hip points towards each other using the strength of your front core, your abs. They're not actually going to move, right? It's just this intention. So release it, shake it out, wiggle it out. We're working this probably brand new muscle. Take your fingers to your hip points. Feel the bones pull towards each other. If you move your fingers just inside of your hip bones, you might feel your rectus abdomen, your transverse abdominis popping up. It's a muscle, it'll pop up. Now, the last thing that we can do, not the last thing, there's so many things. One other thing we can do from right here is imagine I'm standing right next to you in real life. And I have this big old rock. And I'm going to set it on your lower abdominals, so on your belly button, on your lower abs. And you're going to imagination land, feel the weight of the rock, lower your abs down, and then resist back into the rock. Yeah? So we're starting to subtly get into transverse abdominis, which is this corset-like muscle that runs from all the way around our rib cage to our pelvis. And it's like a corset, and it's the one that gets really stretched out. So let me know if you were able to, okay, so we don't have any brand new postpartum moms, so that's great for you guys, because we can get a little more in depth with this. So were you able to feel that at all? You can comment, let me know. We're going to keep going. My goal is that you're starting to feel these lower abdominals firing. Exercise 2. Come down to your back again. Lift your left foot up. Press your hands into your thigh. And then press your low back into the mat. Feel resistance between your thigh and your hands. Like you're trying to pull your knee back towards you and you're trying to press your leg away from you. And then anchor through your low back, anchor through your middle back, down into your floor. Now breathe. It might change your breathing pattern. It's a little crazy. So now bring your attention to your front abs. Take your hand across your belly button. If you feel your abs doming up, lifting up, then that means we've still got quite a separation. We've got some significant work to do to keep stitching the abs together on a really, really deep level. If you can maintain this press and your abs, and you can keep them low, then your abs are in really, really great shape to continue on. So let's pick up the right leg. Again, if you're doming, take a break. If your abs are coming down and you can feel them cinching in towards your belly button, we're going to keep going. So lift your right leg. Create some restriction between your palms and between your thigh. Press your low back into the floor and your middle back. And then we breathe. You're in charge of the resistance. You can increase it or make it a little easier on yourself. We'll take one more breath here. Check your dome, make sure that we're lowering down, and then we can release. Lovely. Lovely. All right. So another thing that we can look at, first off, I want to hear from you if you're still with me. Were you able to feel that lowering down, or do you feel it dome up, or do you feel nothing at all, really? Do you feel it lowering down? Do you feel it lifting up, or not? Or it's just really hard to tell? Because that will help me get even more in depth if you want to learn more about your body right now. Lovely. And if I don't hear, I'm going to keep going, and we can always circle back. So the other thing I wanted to go through with you guys is anterior pelvic tilt. So if you're like a yoga teacher, or massage therapist, or have any kind of background like that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's where the pelvis dumps forward. So I'm going to come closer. It's where the pelvis dumps forward. And you notice my belly expands. That so yeah, the belly expands. The tailbone, like think of my sacrum, this flat base of the spine, it's pointing up towards the corner of my room. So now how we change this is we point the tailbone down towards the floor, and then the hips come underneath the body. So it's going from this, like duck butt, and think big pregnant belly, to getting the hips back under the body, right? So what we need to do in order to get the hips to come under, number one, stretch the fronts of your thighs. Like every yoga class I'm in, it's all about the hamstrings. Hello, we got to open the fronts of the thighs and the hip flexors in order to even like start to open the hips in a really deep way. So climb, if you're up, I'm just excited, I'm jumping around. You can sit down on your mat, and we're gonna sit in a stag. So you can pull your left heel back behind you, draw your right heel in towards your groin, and then bring your hands back behind. So this is safe any level of postpartum. Press the inside of your left knee into the floor. Right there. Yep. And you're going to open up through your hip crease right up here. You're going to feel the stretch through the front of your thigh, right? Maybe even to the inside of your hip bone. If you like, you can take your head back. If you're flexy bendy in this direction, you might come back to your elbows. Just make sure you can keep pressing that knee in. Let's do one more big breath here. Visualize your muscles opening, lengthening. And then draw your chin in towards your neck. Start to work your way back up. Let's switch sides. So I remember for me, my son's now 4.5, but so bring your hands behind you, anchor through the knee, and then we'll lean back here, opening through the hip crease. But I remember when I was recently postpartum, this stretch here felt awful. It felt like it made me kind of want to throw up almost. Like it was like hard to do, and I had to kind of force myself to start working with the quads, the fronts of the thighs. But I'm telling you, this is where a lot of the magic happens for getting your pelvis back underneath you. So let's take one more breath here. Lift up, we breathe, fill up. And then start to tuck your chin and work your way back up to center. So lengthening through the quads is one really important way that we can correct this anterior pelvic tilt. So the other thing that we can do is just some awareness. So I'll come nice and close. We'll get real friendly. I'm a belly dance teacher, so I'm always shaking my butt in people's face on the camera. So we've got hip points right and left, right? Even if you've got some extra tummy, like dig in there, you're going to feel these hip points. They're your bones. They're part of your skeleton right here. And then you find your pubic bone. So this is going to be lower down in the center. This is where your right and left hip bone come together and meet. So you're going to make a little triangle, just like this. And you're going to notice, okay, does my pubic bone go back? Like, is my triangle tilted on an angle like this? Or is my triangle flat? Or is it this way? Does my pubic bone pull forward and my triangle is like I can see my fingers instead of my thumbs? So you can take notice of your own body, how you naturally would stand in your mirror. A little bit of tilt is normal. All right, ladies, up to 10 degrees of pelvic tilt, depending on how your hips are structured, can be really normal. But 10 degrees isn't that much. And a lot of us are a little bit more sturdy at 0 degrees at finding, instead of being here, truly finding that underneath. That requires getting so deep with these abs, doing these kinds of exercises like I talked about on like a daily basis, mindfully, consciously getting in there, stitching it back in together. And that can make a really huge impact on feeling your core strength again, and on tending to your sore low back, sore shoulders, all these kinds of things. So Gina, you mentioned the pelvic floor thing, that whole thing. That's a big freaking thing. First off, there are some incredible pelvic floor physical therapists who will go in and work with you in person, one-on-one, and that can be huge for like being a game shifter or a needle shifter for like getting yourself in better condition with your pelvic floor. Now, that being said, there are plenty of other things that we can do and incorporate with your fitness routine that help you to be working the pelvic floor while you're working out, while you're conquering your mental health, while you're looking really great in your Zia leggings, all those good things. You get it all done in one. So I'm going to teach you my best tip for that, and then that's going to be probably where I wind down for the day. But this is a really powerful punch for this last bit. And then I'm going to tell you about how we can keep talking. In yoga, there's something called bandhas. They're considered energetic locks that we control with our muscles. There's one at the pelvic floor, and it runs flat. It's like through the body here. There's one at the rib cage, and then there's one at the neck. So it's this like basement, middle floor, attic, and then that's like the mega massive core strength that comes through these places. And I actually consider the knees in the core too, but different story. So back to this first bandha, this pelvic floor bandha. Close your eyes. You could be sitting or standing or whatever. And we're going to talk anatomy here, ladies. Yes, you did pelvic floor PT. Way to go, Gina. That is awesome. It's so, postpartum care in our country lacks, I feel like, and that is a really powerful way to show your body that you care. Okay, so close your eyes. We're going to work with the pelvic floor now. You can bring your attention down to your perineum. So your perineum is the skin, the space that runs from your vaginal opening to your anus. I want you to try to construct it. Shorten that space. Bring your attention into the vaginal opening. It's a sphincter, so you're going to Kegel. You're going to like suction cup that sphincter up as you're closing the perineum. And then at the same time, we're going to grab the anus, and this is also a sphincter, and you're going to lift it up. You're going to notice one's probably easier to grab than the other. Totally normal. Maybe both are really hard to grab at this point. That's totally normal too. It's maybe your first time ever doing something like this. So right here, it's like if you stuck a towel between your legs, like funny dancing style, and you lifted that towel up, this is your undercarriage, and that whole undercarriage is lifting up away from the floor, right? So that is like deepest pelvic floor. We can bring it into the low abs here. So if your tailbone's back, if we're anteriorly pelvic tilted, you're not really going to get a deep Mula Bandha engagement. We've got to bring the pubic bone forward, then start to feel the perineum, the vagina, the anus, all lifting. Then you can start to feel your hip points, right and left, pulling towards each other. Now notice my tailbone. I'm not tucking. There's no tucking happening. My glutes aren't squeezing. It's not this scooping under. My tailbone's lifted. And then I have this contraction happening through the undercarriage and between the hip bones. The skeleton doesn't move. We breathe, we release the attention. So if you wanted to get really serious about your pelvic floor, that's the kind of like that plus a whole handful of other really amazing tools can make all the difference for navigating that, like long term, because you can't go to PT every single week. It's like, it's great for a stent, and then you got to take it into your own hands and figure out what you can do at home. So my specialty is home workouts. I'm a fitness coach. I work with people to establish fitness routines in their life. And next week, I'm hosting a free challenge. So this challenge is totally free. It's a 5-day, Monday through Friday, Confident Me Self-Love Challenge. So it's not specifically for moms, although if you're watching this, you're probably a mom. But it's definitely made with moms in mind, because that's really where my heart is. And you're going to learn to look at your body in a different way. You're going to feel inspired to work out. You're going to feel inspired to move. You're going to feel inspired to nourish your body through eating some whole foods. And you're going to be encouraged to release the guilt associated with all of the can'ts and shouldn'ts that come through your brain, your headspace. Oh, I shouldn't eat that. Oh, I can't do that. I can't. We deprive ourselves. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into the nitty gritty of that and find some freedom, so that you feel really free to be you and to take care of yourself in the way that your body so deeply deserves. So Gina, I can't wait to have you come and join the group. It's a pretty small, intimate group. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to get a few dozen people in there, and so I get to serve you. And the link to sign up is in my profile. If you click into my profile, it's in my bio. If you click into my cover photo, it's in there. If you just go to my profile, you'll figure out how to sign up. And it's going to be a really powerful week next week. So I'm so excited to see you there. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to pop back on here later to add any comments. Like, if you have questions, please leave questions, leave comments, and I will be back on. So, oh, wonderful, wonderful, Gina. Okay. We'll post that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna post the link in the comments, and I'm gonna hope that Facebook doesn't like mess with the algorithm. Sometimes it does when you do that, but the more you comment, the more it won't mess with the algorithm. So that way it's right there for you. It's totally accessible, and I can't wait to see you there. It's gonna be an amazing, amazing time. So 15 minutes a day. It's not like a crazy huge commitment. Monday through Friday, 15 minutes. So. All right, ladies, I hope this was wonderful. It was my pleasure to spend some time with you today. Bye, Gina. Bye, ladies, and I will see you next week.